On a foggy January day, I traveled to High Cliff State Park in northeast Wisconsin to spend time walking the woods, among the trees, Indian mounds, and old quarry operations. I took along a 1950s Voigtlander Vitomatic I and a roll of Ilford HP5 Plus 400 speed film and began experimenting with ways of photographing the ancient earthen mounds. High Cliff State Park sits on top of the Niagara Escarpment, an expanse of dolomite rock that stretches in an arch northeast into Canada and back down into the United States. It is the same bedrock Niagara Falls is eating away at 460 miles to the east. On this foggy day, the exposed cliff faces have a silver tone because the fog is forming a frost on the still below freezing rock. The land once held 27 Indian mounds. About half were destroyed by quarrying and farming practices. The ancestors of today's Native Americans constructed the earthen mounds to bury some of their dead starting around 600 BC, and largely abandoned the process about 1300 AD. Some are simple conical piles of earth, and others are effigy mounds in the shapes of animals and probably spirit beings. The largest of these at High Cliff is a type called panther mounds. Their long shapes are believed to be that of water spirits. The one I am walking along is 275 feet long, or about 84 meters. The mounds are impressive for many reasons. They were crafted with care from earth with simple tools. Native Americans and their ancestors left few other noticeable traces on the landscape other than these mounds. At one time, there may have been as many as 20,000 mounds in the state of Wisconsin. Their profile means they are best viewed from above, and so, while they served as burial sites for people, they clearly had other purposes as well. Because of their shape and orientation, the mounds are difficult to photograph from the ground. In some ways, they can't be appreciated by seeing them alone. You have to know them, know who created them, and feel the mystery of why and what rituals surrounded their creation. It seems the only way to photograph them honestly is in the fog. In the fog, their visual presence is partially hidden. Just as much about them will forever be obscured from those who study them and appreciate them. We have some vague ideas about their origin and meaning, but even the youngest of these was built hundreds of years before written history. A short distance from the Indian Mound Trail is a more modern mound, a long, straight pile of rocks placed there sometime in the past when someone attempted to farm the thin soil on the escarpment. In addition to trying to improve the soil for farming, they probably piled these rocks to keep in their livestock, mark as a property line, or some combination. Today, the pile stands as a moss-covered monument to the hard work of the farmer and to another passage of human history. The fence now serves as a sort of moss garden, a home for many small mammals, a place for children to scramble and explore, and a slight annoyance to the local white-tailed deer. Before I go, I have to do a little aversion therapy. I have a fear of heights, and every time I encounter an observation tower, I've decided that I have to climb it as far as I can. I don't really mind having a fear of heights, but it got worse as I got older, so I decided to put the brakes on it by always confronting my fear and discomfort. The observation tower at the park is just tall enough to clear the trees and gain a commanding view of the lake and the surrounding countryside, so it's not very tall. And it's made of wood, and it seems way overbuilt. I think you could park a fully loaded cement truck on top of it. I make my way up without incident. The fog is very thick, and with the reduced visibility, I seem to have experienced less vertigo. A trip to the top is worth it for the view and the sense of accomplishment. I take some more photographs with the old camera in the thick fog. On this trip, the fog obscured the distant landscape, but it somehow revealed distant time. When I slowed down and looked closely, I saw the long arc of change. Some of it good and some of it bad, but mostly it's just change, a constant in the world. The escarpment was laid down 430 million years ago when this area was near the equator. It is formed by the crushed shells of billions of organisms that lived and died in a long-forgotten sea. Much more recently, the glaciers scraped the area clean. Plants, animals, and the ancestors of Native Americans followed the retreating glaciers and made this place their home. The people buried their dead in simple earthen mounds and also those that resembled animals or spirits. Then a new people came. Like the glaciers, they scraped away the soil and with it some of the remains of the earlier people to mine the rock below. They heated that rock, burning off the carbon to produce lime for concrete, plaster, and other products. Some people tried to farm the area, but it didn't quite take. Today I walked among the remains of those ocean creatures, peoples, and endeavors. In the long span of time, the glaciers might come again and scrape away all traces of the people and their artifacts. If the glaciers do come, they will recede again and leave behind a blank canvas for nature to paint with moss, grass, and trees.